Hi there, all of you who love, enjoy, get into reading Mudsitter. This, behind me, is Bowler.
And who are you?
My name's Fletcher, Fletcher DuBois, or DuBois. I answer to both.
And who is this Boulder?
This Bowler is a dog that, a painting done of a dog, and that dog was my grandaunt's dog, and her friend who did the painting, their dog, and it was done in 1895 while Bowler was still alive. So he's been around for a long, long time. And Catherine Codman is the name of the painter. And they both lived in Boston. And my grandaunt was the composer and also wrote, we just talked about that, anagrams and rhymes. She did all kinds of, wrote wonderful letters. And Catherine Codman, I don't know so much about her, but she and her family, they were painters. And that painting was also in an exhibition. But it was done, as I said, as a gift for my Blossie, we called her Blossie, Margaret Reuben Lang. And it was in her, from 1895, that dog was with her, that painting, until 1972. Which is when Blossie died.
And then where did the painting go?
Somewhere to our house. I guess about the things. My mother was one of 7 daughters of Malcolm and Ethel Ranny Lang, Malcolm Lang, and my grandfather and grandmother. And so when Blossie died, she was the last of her. She outlived her sister, who died at the age of 95, Rosamond, and her brother Malcolm, my grandfather, who died at the age of 91 and almost 92, I think. And she stayed around to see if everybody was okay. And then she died 3 months after my grandfather died, and she was 104 and a half.
Ooh.
And all, really totally there, She was, and so I don't know. Well, obviously, when the surviving her surviving nieces of of the Langs, they of those families, those would take some things that they wanted, and I guess Ma must have said that she wanted the picture of the dog.
And where is this now? He's hanging on a wall. Where is this place?
It's the place where you're filming, and I'm sitting on my bed.
Huh.
And it's this. We are. If you look that way and up, if you go out and look up, there's the castle, the Heidelberg Castle, directly. So this looks straight up. Not in my rooms, but if you have to go outside and then around, you look straight up in this direction, and that's the castle that was started in centuries ago, and
in Heidelberg.
In Heidelberg, and I love it. I just read. I didn't tell you this, but I just read again a whole book 2 days ago, a whole book about the history of the castle and with pictures and I'm very lucky to have lived underneath that castle for more than 20 years.
And Bowler too?
Oh, of course. He was. When he came, he came about in the first year. He traveled across the country, across the ocean. He was in Boiling Springs, and a friend, Richard Pryor, who is an artist and architect, and he helped us after we were closing things down after Dad died. It's a little complicated, but Richard's mother was a painter, and Richard also was a painter, and he took this painting to keep it for me until he could get it back, and he brought it then. It was living in the Priors downstairs with her other paintings, and then I can just feel Bowler being critical here. They don't need all that information. They really don't need all that information. Okay, Bowler. But he doesn't get nasty like that. He's very calm, but critical. Calm, but critical. And he went, are you aware of what you are doing now? You are giving more details than are necessary for them to... I said, okay, I get it. He's not always down on me, but he has a very clear, how shall I put it, not rules, it's clear perception of the appropriate things for a well-lived life. And if I'm straying, he can help me out. When I may never do it, but I thought of writing, just like I wrote that novelette that you read about the witches, the stories that our Ma told us, that I continue.
And what's that called, that book?
Well, I'm not really sure of what it'll end up being called in terms of the title. It's the yew tree in the fog, and then three witches in the greenwood.
Okay.
And but the yew tree, Y-E-W, yew tree, is a tree that's also medicine but also poisonous, and it's complex.
He's looking over your shoulder very critically here.
Anyway, so
I can't hold the camera steady when you talk like that.
What I was going to do and did when I was on these few vacations I would take some paper and I would write as if Bowler were there with me. Mm-hmm. And he would comment on things. And it was good, but I wasn't sure whether this was ever going to really work. And I think I've hid them somewhere, so I have to find out where all these pages are. And but
he's one of your true companions in life.
Of course, and I have to tell you, one of the conversations we'd had. Conversations in quotes. He was a little upset that he had been put on YouTube or in the net. He could be seen in the net. This was, he's lived more than 100 years in one place or several places, but with Blossy, with Margaret and Irvin Lang, and then he was in these different places, but he wasn't expecting to be other people seeing him on the net.
But we have a plan, or to have him also spend some time living at River Hollow with you at High Castle School for Dragon Arts.
Yes. Well, but that's a little different.
Yeah?
Yeah, because he has influenced you. You see?
Yeah.
And so you were able to put him in there because of your actual experiences of having seen him. Mm-hmm. And you would do it in his spirit. Now, I think it's also lovely that the person who filmed this in Canvassing the World about Heidelberg, that episode of that series, which is on the net in the United States, in public television, PBS, and the person who did that filming came here and filmed here some briefly with me, and I wanted to make sure that he would see Bowler, which he did, and also the quote that we just did.
Mm-hmm. And it's interesting because when you were living in America, I spent some time living here, sleeping on this bed beneath Bowler also.
Yes.
And now the plan is to have Bowler in the book, on the wall above the bed in River Hollow.
Yes.
Where Fletcher DuBois, who was a real character in the book, literally sleeps under Bowler in the book.
Yes, and that's pretty wonderful. That's when you told me that, I thought, oh, wow. You know, but it all connects, because that's a whole other discussion of the Mudsitter book. It's so wide. It's so, and what buoys one up.
If you could summarize what Bowler's, I don't know, advice to High Castle students, what do you think it would be? Or readers?
I think he wouldn't be giving a lot of advice. He'd just be living it. And they would see how he was. Not that it was conscious, I have to do it so, but the idea of he could give. I think he sees himself as doing that in the moment. But of course he can't go to them. They have to go past him and stop and look.
So I'm a bit lost. He just is passively present? What are you saying?
No, he's spiritually present.
Okay.
But he's not in the painting. He's still in the painting. But if somebody really connects, there's that connection, and I can hear him talking to me sometimes. But he doesn't call out first or something. I have to engage with him.
And then you hear it in your mind?
Yes.
So you have conversations with your dog companion who was painted in 1895 in your mind?
Yeah.
And it's one of the delights of your life.
I love it. Oh. But he's also, as I say, he's critical, but the deepest part is really well-wishing. I mean, but not concerned. Oh, I'm afraid or something. It's that calm, plus perception of what's happening.
And well-wishing.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Fletcher. Thank you, Bowler. Let me move this a little bit so I can get the whole painting here.